Next, I would like to introduce Brock McDonald, Executive Director of the Recycling Council of British Columbia. Prior to joining the Recycling Council of British Columbia in 2003, Brock has been a communications director, an educator, an award-winning journalist in the computer, electronics and manufacturing, and sports and entertainment sectors. Brock.
Thanks, Peter. Hi, everyone. It's great to be back in Langley. I used to live here. Some of you may know me. I used to be a reporter for The Advance, in fact. And I'm really thankful that we have scheduled these events on nights when there's not a Canucks game, because that's the only fun I get to have these days, is watching those guys play. So we had a really interesting conversation last night in Coquitlam, and we raised a lot of issues. So I'm going to start off with a few, because it's really easy to sort of get off track or widen the field to the point where we just have so much information flying around we can't make head nor tails of things. So let me talk about a little bit about waste. In Canada, we waste about 800 kilograms per person per year. In BC, it's over 600, but in Nova Scotia, it's about 450. And one of the reasons why is because they have a really good organics program in that province. It's a province-wide program. There's a ban on organics to landfill, and they compost. And that's really key, because two of the jurisdictions that I'm pretty impressed with, San Francisco and Regional District of Nanaimo, have got diversion rates of over 70%. And according to some information from the Regional District of Nanaimo, they're going to hit 75% in 2010. That's pretty impressive. And that's where Metro Vancouver wants to get to in 2015 is 70%, and the Regional District of Nanaimo is there. So there's a lot of things we can learn from what they're doing. And one of the things they've done is they've banned organics to the landfill and created a compost program, and even commercial organics are banned from the landfill. So it's very, very important. Now, when we think about San Francisco being able to get to that point, they did it without the benefit of extended producer responsibility programs. That's something that we have here in BC. We have this thing called a recycling regulation, and under that recycling regulation are schedules, and each schedule covers off a certain thing. So you've got the paint program, you've got the beverage container program, you've got, the latest one is electronics. Electronics in its first year of operation, which was 2008, was able to divert 11,000 tons from landfill. That's pretty significant. You add those things up and all those product categories that we are doing or could be doing, and pretty soon that starts to shrink the amount of waste that's in the solid waste stream. Well, there are those out there that think, well, it should be industry's responsibility. We should close the loop. All of that stuff that's in your garbage can is either organics or it's consumer-related material that you've purchased in a store. It's either packaging or a broken container or something. Now, if that was all industry's responsibility, that would only really leave organics. And since we've seen jurisdictions that have banned organics from landfill and are doing composting with it, that would be a pretty simple solution. I don't know, it sounds simple. Well, it's not. It's a little more complicated than that, but roughly that's what we have to look at. So we're looking at an expansion of extended producer responsibilities in the province. And that's going to help Metro Vancouver, because they're going to need some help to be able to get to the diversion rate they need to get to. They've got to get help from senior government. For instance, the province, we had a diversion goal set one time here in the 90s of 50%. And great, we met it. It's 55% in Metro Vancouver. It's only 30% in the province now because we slipped back a little bit. But when we met that 50% goal, we didn't go farther. We lost the leadership from the top. And so now we have to get some leadership from the provincial government and set goals of 70, 80, even 90% for diversion. And we need to have assistance from the business community, from industry. They're the ones that are going to have to pick up the slack in this closed loop system of extended producer responsibility. And there's lots of economic opportunity there. You create 6 jobs in recycling and beyond for every one job that's in a landfill. And you also have to get your citizens involved. There has to be consistent communications. We have to create the right system for them to use, including that closed loop EPR system. You got to make it simple for them to use and understand, and you got to keep telling them over and over and over. Keep that message consistent. There are a lot of things that we've suggested that Metro Vancouver can do. There's a report on our website, and some of those things include those EPR programs, pay-as-you-throw system, only collecting garbage every 2 weeks, but organics every week. Because if you think about it, and this is something that's come up for Port Coquitlam, for instance, they've started to institute garbage pickup only every second week, but organics every week, because you take out the organics from your garbage, and it's really just dry goods. So you're not going to have the smell that people would be concerned about or have to worry about, the rodent problem, that sort of thing. So that's one of the things that you have to consider. So there's a number of things that can be done. I'm going to show you the page of this, front page of this report. This is available on the RCBC website in PDF form. So have a look at that, and that'll give you some ideas about what the region can do to get down to zero waste. Thanks very much. I look forward to a really good discussion.